אני הולך להתפרע היום לשרוף את כל הרחבות נכון מכל פינה אתה שומע עזוב אותך משה כולם פה כבר בשיגעון והלילה איזה לילה כולם עולים למעלה בקצב אחד קרוב 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 איזה לילה כולם עולים למעלה תרימו את היד קרוב 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 עכשיו אתה רגוע תכף זה עולה, שוב מתחיל מחדש תמיד תהיה בטוח תפתח את העיניים, אף פעם אל תשכח יאללה משה שהלילה, איזה לילה כולם עולים למעלה בקצב אחד קרוב 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 איזה לילה כולם עולים למעלה תרימו את היד
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are about to begin.
What am I? I'm Israeli. And I'm American. My heart has learned to be in 2 languages, and somehow it never missed a step. And if you're anything like me, you know exactly what it feels like, living with roots in one place and a life built in another.
Shabbat Shalom.
We came here for all kinds of reasons: work, school, opportunity, or for just a few years, and found a future we didn't imagine. For a long time, we figured we'd figure it out on our own. 2 identities, 2 cultures, trying to make them one life. But 18 years ago, something shifted. We realized we weren't meant to build this life alone. That's how the IAC began. From a simple truth: real strength is created together.
Israel, America has your back.
And the more we came together, the clearer it became. We weren't just Israelis living abroad. We were shaping a home here too. We support one another. We show up when it matters. And when thousands of us gather in one place, there is no real way to describe that energy.
If Israel is in your heart, welcome home.
Do not be afraid. We are courageous and we are strong.
Now that I have children of my own, the story gets bigger. It's about who they'll become. It's connecting them to our roots, our history, our people. It's raising leaders on campuses, in classrooms, and in business. It's knowing that across cities and states, there's a network that stands by us and protects the values we share no matter what the world brings. It's speaking up for Israel from afar.
Together we stand strong.
And strengthening America from up close.
We are here and we're not going anywhere.
In support of our Israeli nation.
If we stand together and fight as one, I have no doubt that we will be victorious.
So what am I? I'm Israeli. I'm American. I'm both. Completely. Proudly. And the best part? I am not alone. You are with me. And I am with you.
Hello and Shalom IAC. Please, everyone that is still joining us, take your seats. and welcome to the second plenary of the 10th IAC National Summit. For the past 18 years since the establishment of the IAC, this wonderful community of Jewish American and Israeli Americans has been united, connected, and empowered together. We can see that strength more clearly than ever at this summit, with you all coming here from all over the United States and beyond. One of the IAC's first and most important mission is to nurture leadership and meaningful action. With that in mind, today we present to you role models, remarkable individuals from different fields who will ignite inspiration in all of us. We will meet Attorney General Pam Bondi. We will meet Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz. Omer Venkat will be here. Caitlyn Jenner will be here. Idan Reichel, and many, many more. Throughout this plenary, we will hear different voices speaking on stage. Remember that whether you agree with them or not, they all deserve a warm welcome and respect, as they are all our guests. And now please welcome IAC National Co-Chair Tal Schuster.
Thank you everyone, and I hope that you're having an amazing and inspiring conference so far. So I just want to let you know the Ambassador Leiter was supposed to be a guest of honor today, and for obvious reasons he cannot join us. We are here from all the 4,000 people here or in this room, are sending our love and support to the state of Israel, to the people of Israel, and to the government of Israel. He cannot join us today, and we will have a wonderful program. And again, Israel is in our heart all the time. We are here with unconditional love to the state of Israel. Thank you, everyone.
Please welcome, with a grand round of applause, Mr. Shon Evan Chaim.
Hi, good afternoon. Like Tal said, this is another amazing summit, and I hope you all enjoying it as much as we do. But I'm here because I have the great privilege today to recognize a truly extraordinary person. If there is anyone who embodies the values, strength, and beauty of the Jewish people, it's Dr. Miriam Edelson. Her impact is felt at the highest levels through decisive actions, deep commitment, an unwavering sense of responsibility. We would not be here today, and the IAC would not be the nationwide organization it is without her vision, wisdom, and generosity. It is my honor to invite to the stage the one and only, our true Wonder Woman, Dr. Miriam Edelson. So Miri, I want you to look this way. Yeah. So this artwork was created especially for you by an Israeli international video artist, Tommy. Tommy represents Israeli creativity on the global stage. This piece was crafted specifically in your honor as a visual expression of your deepest gratitude. The dedication reads, "Stand up for what you believe is right, even if you stand alone. The truth will always stand with you." And we know where this is coming from the office of what Sheldon and you used to see every day when he walked into his office. So Miri, your leadership has strengthened the bond between the United States and the State of Israel at moments when it mattered most. Your determination and influence have played a meaningful role in the effort to bring the hostages home and to protect the Jewish community here in the United States. On behalf of everyone here today, and really on behalf of the entire Israeli American and Jewish American community, thank you. Thank you for who you are and for what you do and for what you stand for. We love you. Thank you.
I'm not too old. I just had a surgery in my knee, okay? Okay, our next speaker is a lifelong Floridian and former prosecutor. She has spent her career confronting violent crimes and leading the fight against human trafficking. Under her leadership, the Department of Justice has made combating anti-Semitism a top priority, especially in response to the alarming rise in incidents following October 7. She brings moral clarity, resolve, and an unwavering commitment to justice to this critical fight. Please welcome my friend, the 87th Attorney General of the United States, Pamela Bondi.
Miriam Adelson is amazing. What she has done for Israel, for our country, and for this world is second to none. Thank you, my friend. Last May, I was out to dinner with a group of friends and my husband, and we were celebrating something in DC, and it was late, and my phone rings. And as a prosecutor, I'd been to many, many homicide scenes throughout my career. My phone rings, and they said, there are 2 young people shot in DC. I immediately left dinner, went to the crime scene outside the Jewish Museum, and had never seen anything like that in my career. Sarah and Yaron were shot, murdered because they were Jewish. And that's when I really got to know Ambassador Leiter. That man is strong, that man is tough, and that man cares. With tears in his eyes, he quietly whispered to me that they were about to get engaged in Israel. The whole world knows that now, but then it was a secret. It was horrible, horrible. We will not tolerate that in our country any longer. We are prosecuting the monster, and we will seek the death penalty. I'm proud and honored to be here today. And again, congratulations to my amazing friend, Dr. Miriam Adelson, and to Elon Carr for your 10th annual National Summit. Sarah and Yaron are only one example of why your work is so important. This group's success is a testament to your strength and your resiliency and your faith. The sad truth is, for way too long, anti-Semitism has been allowed to grow unchecked in this country. Too many institutions have abdicated their moral responsibility to speak up. Too many so-called leaders have stayed quiet. Actions have consequences, and inaction has consequences too. We've sued violent protesters under the FACE Act for intimidating Jewish Americans worshiping at synagogues. This is the first time since its passage, the FACE Act in 1994, that it has been used to protect a house of worship. And Harmeet Dillon, who runs my civil rights unit, is right here in the front row. Harmeet is a champion. Harmeet is a champion, and I'm not going to get into too much detail with all of the cases that she's been working on because you're going to hear from Harmeet tomorrow, twice, I think, and she's amazing. Harmeet, thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. Too many synagogues have been forced to have extra security. Just last week, we saw a horrific arson at a synagogue in Mississippi. You all saw that. Our U.S. attorney is working to seek hate crime charges, of course, on that. Too many Jewish Americans have been forced to live in fear. Under President Trump's leadership, this Department of Justice is dedicated to reversing this unacceptable trend. We've seen Jewish students harassed just for going to class. We've seen businesses boycotted and targeted. We will not allow acts of anti-Semitism to go unpunished in this country under the leadership of Donald Trump. We all know that many of our universities have been fostering an environment that enables and embodies anti-Semitism. We are demanding more from this country's educational institutions. Working with Secretary Linda McMahon, who has been a champion for you as well, and Harmeet, we have secured a $200 million settlement with Columbia University for violating the civil rights of Jewish students and Jewish employees. We've secured a $75 million settlement with Northwestern University for anti-Semitic conduct. We've secured a $60 million settlement with Cornell that includes provisions to halt anti-Semitic conduct. And we've launched a full investigation into University of California's system for systematic anti-Semitism. These aren't easy settlements, too. I watched Harmeet, I watched Linda McMahon, and the President of the United States himself negotiate these settlements for our, not only Jewish students, but our Jewish professors. Sadly, many professors and administrators have chosen to look the other way, but some have not. I want to tell you a story right here in Florida. You've probably heard of it. It's not a crime of great violence, but in my opinion, it's a crime of great significance. I give college presidents my personal cell phone, and I say, if you need anything, call me. My phone rang one day. I was sitting in the office, and it was the president of Florida State University. And he said, something just happened. Yeah, a young woman, a student, threw her phone, cursed, attacked a young student, a young man, male student, who was playing basketball because he was wearing an IDF shirt. She was a student, he was a student. I spent the next few hours on the phone. I called my U.S. attorney, I called the state attorney, called law enforcement, and I guess she went through the system as it should, and she now is kicked out of Florida State University. But little things are the big things, and that sends a strong message that you can't behave that way anymore in our country. You can't bully other students simply because they're Jewish. And you think they're better than they are. Not going to happen under Donald Trump's presidency. After October 7th, you all know, President Trump fought to bring every single hostage home with the tireless work of, I believe, the unsung heroes, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. I love all three of them, and watching them, what they did was truly remarkable. I was blessed with my friend Allison Lutnick to get to meet many of the freed hostages before they were released. I met two brothers in my office in June. I met E.R. and Amos. No, I'm sorry. I met Atan and Amos. There were three brothers, but I met two of the brothers. And E.R. was kidnapped, of course, October 7th, with his brother. He was released, but they held Atan still in Israel. Excuse me, they kidnapped him, and he was held, of course, in Gaza. These are the two brothers. I kept this picture. Amos, who was not kidnapped, and the one brother who I've become friends with, and we still text, he gave me this picture. I'm sure you've seen this picture of the two brothers separated. Horrible. I've kept this sitting on my desk every single day. I've met with him after that. I still have the picture on my desk. And then, when their third brother was released, I got to meet him at the White House when President Trump got to hug all three of them as a family. Then just, I think 2 weeks ago, E.R. reached out to me and said, Pam, I know you still have that really sad picture sitting on your desk. I need to replace it with a happy one. And this is what he wrote on the back of what he gave me. This is a hug between brothers, supposed to be a bright, colorful, and with a huge smile. Thanks for supporting my family. With love and respect, Ir, Amos, and Atan, the Horn brothers. This is what Donald Trump has done for Israel. This is what the work of Miriam Adelson does for Israel. It is an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. God bless you. We will continue to fight for Israel. Shabbat Shalom.
Attorney General Pam Bondi. Our next two role models are among the strongest and most persistent pro-Israel female forces in the U.S. Congress. Woman Jackie Rosen is a proud member of the Jewish community and consistent voice against anti-Semitism, who has worked persistently to strengthen bipartisan support for Israel. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is one of the strongest voices for the Jewish community and the U.S.-Israel relationship, who has worked tirelessly to strengthen the bond between Israel and the United States. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Jackie Rosen, and I'm proud to represent the great state of Nevada in the United States Senate. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person today. So I'd like to thank everyone at the IAC for your incredible work to strengthen relations between the United States and Israel, to combat rising anti-Semitism, and lift up the vibrant Israeli-American community and the broader Jewish community across the United States. I also want to congratulate you all on celebrating 10 years of this incredible summit. As the third Jewish woman and the first former synagogue president to be elected to the United States Senate, I'm so honored to be speaking with you today. The United States and Israel share a unique bond rooted in our shared democratic values and mutual security interests. And what makes this relationship so vital is what we hope to achieve for the future of our two nations. This relationship is about the future we can build together, stronger security at home and abroad, greater economic opportunities, technological advancements, and a more stable Middle East that benefits everyone. Unfortunately, too many on the far left and the far right are using a combination of nativism and anti-Semitism to demonize Israel in hopes of decreasing support for our ally. And that's why events like this one are critical. We are all here to speak with one voice today and say that will not happen. When the United States and Israel stand together, when we lead together, there is no limit to what our partnership can achieve for our two countries and for generations to come. Now, I want to introduce a great friend and a fellow Democrat who feels as strongly as I do about supporting our only democratic ally in the Middle East. And we have the same commitment. As long as we are both in the United States Congress, we will continue to work with colleagues on both sides of the aisle to strengthen, not weaken, the relationship between the United States and Israel. So toda rabah, and please join me in welcoming Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
And to interview Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, please welcome Aviva Klompas, an educator, author, and the CEO of Boundless, a pro-Israel and anti-Jew hatred education group. Please.
Thank you so much. Congresswoman, it's wonderful to be in conversation with you.
With you as well, Aviva. Thank you.
Thank you. The last time that I saw you was actually at your Hanukkah party in Washington, D.C., and you used that opportunity to actually profile the story of Ran Gvili, and you invited his sister, Shira, to attend and to speak. So I wanted to begin by thanking you that even now you continue to advocate for Ran's return, as we all do, and because for these past 2+ years you've used your platform at every opportunity to advocate for the hostages and the family of the hostages, and none of us take that for granted.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the reason none of us take it for granted is because that is not an across-the-board approach in the Democratic Party. And as you can imagine, a lot of us here are quite worried about what we are seeing taking place in your party, because there was a time when Israel was a bipartisan issue. It was broadly agreed upon by both Democrats and Republicans, and that is no longer the case. My question for you, do you think that that is an era that is simply over, or something that we could return to?
Aviva, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you to IAC, to Ambassador Elon Carr, and welcome to Florida's 25th Congressional District. Someday I might be your representative when you retire and move to my district here, so I'm giving you a little preview. It is incredibly important that, well, a couple of things I want you to know before I answer that question quickly. One, I am Florida's first Jewish Congresswoman. Thank you. The first bill that I passed as a member of Congress 21 years ago created the National Jewish American Heritage Month, which focuses on making sure that people in our country understand something about Jews and who we are, that we're a rich culture, a religion, and a long and involved and exemplary history in the United States. And I am a Zionist. I am a proud Jewish mother, and I represent a significant Jewish community as well as an Israeli-American community proudly. So with that said, it is my job today and going forward to help reassure people who have angst about the Democratic Party. Today, and the Congress of the United States remains an overwhelmingly pro-Israel governmental institution. The vast majority of Republicans and Democrats support the U.S.-Israel relationship, and in my party, and you have only to look at the votes that we put up on the board, on the House floor, to see that we have loud, vocal, hard-left individuals, as do the Republicans on the right, who get outsized attention, and who it is our responsibility to make sure that we minimize their voice and their impact. And that is work that I am involved in doing alongside my pro-Israel colleagues every single day. That I can assure you.
My second question has to be not to the Congresswoman, but to all the Israeli tech and innovation people out there. Can you clone her? We just need more of this ahead of the midterms. So my question for you is ahead of the midterms that are coming this November, where people are interested or worried to see where the party is going. Are there conversations that you can share with us that are taking place in the party on issues about Israel and anti-Semitism? And it goes without saying, the concern is we have seen so many Democrats, including I think some that we would consider mainstream, that have been distancing themselves from Israel or not speaking out in the way that we would like.
We have, again, Democrats and Republicans on both sides of the aisle that represent a loud core group. But there are many of us, Jews and non-Jews, who are pro-Israel within my party, who, and I serve as a senior member of the Appropriations Committee. I do work on that committee to make sure that we can go to bat in the State Foreign Operations Bill and the Defense Appropriations Bill to ensure that the assistance that Israel needs, and by the way, I think the jury should not be weighing in yet on whether military assistance we're ready to end our military assistance to Israel, because I don't think that's appropriate. Too many people are leaping to say that should end even earlier, and that's just a cautionary note I want to lend to your thought process. But whether it's the Zoran Mamdani election that I know so many people here, and I'm sure we have a few New Yorkers. I'm a native New Yorker myself, spent my whole adult life here. I just want to point out some truths. Mark Levine, who was elected comptroller of New York City on the same day as Zoran Mamdani, won every single borough, in some cases by more than Mamdani did. He is a pro-Israel Jewish Democrat. And so that shows you that it was not all about, anti-Israel issues in that election. Julie Menon is now the first Jewish speaker of the New York City Council. Imagine that we have the first Jew that is now serving as the City Council Speaker, pro-Israel and a Democrat. And Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, both pro-Israel colleagues of mine, have both been elected governor of their states. So we have Hakeem Jeffries, who is a pro-Israel Democratic leader who has consistently stood up and been a strong pro-Israel voice. So there are countless examples. And I want you to know that we don't just leave it to chance. We have a core group of organized members that work inside to educate new members as they're coming in, to ensure I'm leading a women members trip of Democrats to Israel with AIPAC next month in order to make sure that we can continue to get new members to Israel and help understand what's really going on there.
I'll wrap our conversation with one last question, and maybe I'll turn the tables a little bit, which is we so often ask what you and the Democrats can do for us, but maybe we'll quote or we'll misquote a different famous Democrat, Kennedy, who asked not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. What is it that you would like to see all of us doing to help reshape what the future of the Democratic Party and the Israel-America alliance looks like in this country?
I'm going to stand up for this because I feel so strongly about it. I am going to take Aviva's question and tell you that we all have a responsibility, those of us that are pro-Israel, those of us that are concerned about the explosive rise of anti-Semitism in the world. We have a problem generationally, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or independents. The next generation of Americans, the next generation coming up behind us, does not understand the importance of a strong Israel, an Israel that should always remain a Jewish and democratic state, and they don't understand that we as a people have contributed boundless significance and impact in countries across the globe. Anti-Semitism is growing, and there are young people who believe that the Holocaust never happened, an astonishing percentage, that it wasn't 6 million, that it was a number far fewer. We have to make sure that we are creating educational opportunities and bringing young people together across the divide, cultures and religion, to make sure that we don't have a generation, as we lose our Holocaust-era survivors, that we don't have a generation that believes that there is something wrong with the Jewish people and who fosters instead of fights anti-Semitism. That's a commitment we all have to make to one another and reach across the divide in many different cultures and communities. So thank you so much.
That deserves a big round of applause. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Aviva and Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz. And now for our next role model. On January 16th, 2003, Space Shuttle Columbia rose into the sky. Among the 7 astronauts was Israeli Air Force Colonel Ilan Ramon, a husband and a father of 4. Ilan made history as the first Israeli to leave Earth, but the shuttle never returned, and the 7 crew members were lost. Asaf Ramon, Ilan and Rona's oldest son, achieved his dream and became an Israeli Air Force pilot himself, following in his father's footsteps. In 2009, tragedy struck again at the Ramon family when Asaf died during a combat training accident. But this is not only a story of great loss, it is a story of resilience, of the ability to face hardship and still choose growth. Rona transformed her personal tragedy into a force for good by establishing the Ramon Foundation. She passed away 7 years ago, leaving behind a remarkable foundation which continues this great family legacy through educational programs for all ages. While Ilan was in space, Rona sent him a song from Earth, a message of love, a reminder of home. That song was Love of My Life by Queen. Tal Ramon, the second son of Ilan and Rona and a gifted musician, is here with us today.
The first Israeli ever to fly in space on this 16-day mission, Ilan Ramon.
We have booster ignition and liftoff of Space Shuttle Columbia.
7 astronauts have died, their families shattered. The space program has been dealt a terrible blow.
אני 15 שנה עוסקת בבניית מורשת של גיבור לאומי, ולא ידעתי מה זה בכלל.
אתה מרגיש שבאמת כאילו הצלת חיים, אתה עשית משהו משמעותי, משהו עם ערך.
זה חלום של כל אחד לצאת מכדור הארץ ולהסתכל עליו קצת מזוויות אחרות.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful and proud to be here with you guys today. Thank you. We are celebrating also. We're celebrating something that is never lost. Our history, our shared history. Love of my life, love of my life. Ooh, yeah. Thank you so much.
Caravano. Thank you so much for the song and for the Ramon Foundation for the great contribution to the Israeli society. Now we have a very special guest. Through some of the most difficult times Israel has ever known, he provided us the clarity, truth, comfort, and hope that we will need it so much. Let's take a look.
אנחנו נמצאים במצב מלחמה. כל מי שהיה מעורב בטבח בשבת הוא בן מוות. צאו מהעיר עזה וסביבתה לאור התקיפות כה קשה מאוד למחיה. אני רוצה שתראו את הדברים שלנו. The IDF recently confirmed that Yahya Sinwar, the face of evil, was killed in Rafah. דניאלה, לירי, נעמה וקרינה בידינו, הן בדרך הביתה. בוקר הודענו רשמית על חיסולו של חסן נסראללה, ראש ארגון הטרור של חיזבאללה ב-30 השנים האחרונות. יש לנו עוד עבודה ואנחנו נחושים להשלים אותה. אני אשמח לענות על שאלות.
Let's see about that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Reserve IDF Naval Commander Officer and former IDF spokesman, Rear Daniel Hagari. I think people here like you. Not sure about it, but reading between the lines. So, first of all, how's life now that you've retired from active duty?
צהריים טובים, קודם כל, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you, IAC, for inviting me. I don't think I'm used to that, such a big crowd. Used to more small press conferences or a camera.
Used to be in a small room and one camera.
First of all, it's strange, you know, after 30 years of service, and most of them, I was a warrior and commander, and I reached to be the IDF spokesperson, but it wasn't meant to be in my planning, you know. I was a warrior and commander. I joined the service for that, and I also had the honor to serve my country also as the IDF spokesperson. And now I'm a civilian. And the only thing for sure that I'm here in the ISC, and next week I'm doing sandwiches and carpooling for my kids. That's my anchor.
You want to be recruited again? You want to be recruited again? After doing sandwiches every day?
I'll find the right thing for me. That's for sure. I'll find it. I became the IDF spokesperson after I was the commander of שייטת 13, and that was my life dream, to be the commander of this special unit, such wonderful people, and doing those operations to protect my country. And it gave me a lot of qualities and capabilities that I could use at the war, during the war, and especially on October 7th. And maybe we can talk a little bit about that, Ilan?
Yes, and maybe we should talk about the fact that when you were appointed, we met, and afterwards, after October 7th, I thought to myself, was that a scenario that came to your mind when they offered you to be IDF spokesman?
Well, when they told me to be the IDF spokesperson, it was General Alevi that did that, and he said, I want you to be the IDF spokesperson. I said, why? I don't know how to speak that well. And he said, you are a warrior and commander, and you could be the voice of the soldiers and commanders, and that's what I want you to be. And when I took the job, it was 6 months prior to the war, I had some time to learn, and I learned and learned every day. I did my lesson learning, like you do at שייטת 13. And eventually, I told myself, I won't be someone else. I'm not a media person. I need to stay who I am. I'm a warrior and a commander. I know to be transparent. I know to be accurate. I know to maintain composure. I'm going to do that in my job because I don't know anything else. And in the first day of October, I met you at television, and during that meeting and other meetings that I conducted, I tried to understand how this media works. So on October 7th, I had a lot of interviews, and then I said, I cannot control the situation like that. Let's do statements, because we weren't doing statements in the IDF spokesperson before that, and it was a day that nobody told you what to do. Even after a couple of few days, nobody told you. It was so chaotic. And I said, I must be in control on mediating what's the situation. I'm obligated to the citizens of Israel. That's my audience. And I stood up, I took the podium, and no prompter, no text, the way I understood the situation, and tried to give to the citizens something to hold on to. Understand the situation, as bad as it is, give directions. And then I understood it's the right thing to do, anchor-wise. And I learned that there isn't one audience. There are many audiences. There's the Israelis. There's the Jews in the diaspora and Israelis in diaspora. There is the Arab world. There's the international world. And also I learned that the hostages are listening, and I need to speak to the hostage. And I learned it through talking to one of the hostages that came back from captivity and told me, he heard me. He heard me on Al Jazeera while his captors were trying to shoot him. They used to open television, and he heard me. And he told me, you were giving me messages. And every time I touched someone, I talked to someone, I've learned something. So that was my lesson learned, to touch people and be sensitive to people. And my teacher for that is my brother. My brother Jonathan is 41 now, he was born with special needs. He doesn't talk. And he lives in a village next to Ofakim called Adi Negev with similar people. And I remember as being a teenager, I did a lot of effort to understand what he feels. He doesn't talk. Is he sad? Is he happy? Does he hurt? I need to do a lot of effort and sensitivity to understand him. And he is my teacher for that. And on October 7th, the terrorists went with motorcycles next to that village, and they didn't went in. They would massacre helpless people if they would do so. They went into Ofakim and did terrible things. And I went during the war to visit him, and he was my teacher to humanity, to trying to be, and I tried, to be human to Israelis, to the hostages, to the soldiers, and I went inside Gaza and inside Lebanon, first of all, for the soldiers, understanding the soldiers, the warriors, and then to mediate it to the world and to the whole international community. Because the power, I didn't understand in the beginning. I went into the field because I'm a warrior. But the power of that you're in a tunnel, that you're in Lebanon, you're in Gaza, you're there, you're explaining it from there, it's so strong on social media, on mainstream media. It's short, it's fast, it's viral. And we experienced different kind of tools during the war. And we try to be better every day. And we try to listen. What should we do? What should we do every day? Because every day something else happened.
I think that's why people found a lot of comfort when you spoke to them, because it was like a recipe. It has some comfort. It has a very, it felt like you were in our living room telling us a story the way we should, with some hope, with the truth, with inspiration and strength, and I think people saw it, really, really saw it. We only have like a minute and a half, and we could hear like 10 million more stories about it, but I think a lot of people are sitting here now wondering, is it possible to change the narrative that we see today worldwide when we speak about Israel?
I'll try to do that in one minute, okay? The question is not if.
So how?
No, the question is not if. We must do that. It's not an if question. We should reorganize ourselves and build something in the country in a different way, an agency, not just in the idea of spokesperson, country-wise. You know, people ask, you did the beepers, you did the Iron Dome. What about speaking the narrative? Iron Dome and beeper, because I know it personally, 10 years. 15 years of preparation. We need to build now those platforms, those capabilities, those technologies. And yes, do now, but also 10 years from now. The future of Israel depends on all of us. All of us. And so does the responsibility. So does the responsibility to protect and shape it. Thank you so much.
Daniela Gari. My next guest was kidnapped by Hamas on October 7th and was held in the dark tunnels of Gaza for 505 days. None of us will ever forget watching with overflowing joy him and the other hostages returning home these days. He shares his story and inspires many as a role model of the triumph of human spirit. Let's watch.
ישראל נמצאת תחת מתקפה, מתקפת טרור משולבת מאז שעות הבוקר.
Hamas has begun releasing remaining Israeli hostages.
ויש המון שמחה בזה שאני פה. ואני מזכיר לי למי שסביבי תמיד, כל השמיים מעליכם, אתה יותר מבסדר.
Gentlemen, please welcome Omer Venkert. I was wondering to myself, how do you introduce yourself to people that don't know you for some reason?
As Omer Venkert first, former hostages. That's still who I am.
Okay, and then you share your story immediately, or are you worried what kind of questions you'll be asked during this conversation?
No, I'm not worried about the questions, because I think that you're going to ask me some serious things that's important to talk about. So actually I'm a bit excited about what you're going to ask me for. And I'm very excited to be here and talk in front of all of you about my story. Thank you very much. About my story and the messages that I want to give you. So thank you about the opportunity.
I think a lot of people are wondering how do you adjust to this huge change? I mean, where were you a year ago and where are you now? How do you adjust? How often do you think about just, is this real? Am I free?
So there is a couple of phases in the rehabilitation. At first, it's a huge euphoria. Just can't believe it. You feel like you're in a dream. After a few weeks, this is the point that, for me, it was the point that I understand that I need to take everything slowly, step by step, not rush into it, because, I was so hungry to discover about everything, to hear what happened here, and to manage to the real life so fast. And after a few weeks, my brain told me, like, you need to relax. So it was very important to listen to myself, to my body. And then it was the other phase, the second phase. It was more complicated because this was the real start of the rehabilitation process. Of course, I'm in a therapy, and I have the environment that supports me and loves me, and it's very important. But then immediately I started, I joined my parents and all of the hostages family to the struggle to bring them back home. Everyone, every single one. At first it was for Guy Veviatar, my brothers who've been there 8 months after me. And all of them, and of course we're not going to stop until Rani Vili will come back to Israel.
A lot of the hostages spoke about things that they can't seem to get used to. They can't take for granted, like eating whenever they want, going to the restrooms whenever they want. Do you still feel the same way about certain things, or you get really comfortable really quickly?
It wasn't quickly. It took time to be comfortable about it, because you appreciate every little thing. I can tell you that in the first few weeks, it was like amazing moment for me to just flash the water out of the toilet. It was so incredible, because for 505 days I even didn't see a toilet for once. So it was the little things that were amazing for me at the beginning, like opening the fridge in my house. I remember the single moment that I opened. I was so excited to get inside my house the first time and open the fridge. And at the beginning it was amazing. You know, I looked at the fridge and I was like, wow. But today, it's regular for me. You know, there is a thing that now it's my schedule again. And I'm happy this is regular for me, because I was afraid that I'm never going to get used to the real life again. And I'm happy that I'm feeling comfortable about it, but still appreciate every little thing. I'm being thankful about everything. About everything. Nothing is granted for me. I took nothing for granted, and I saw that they put it in the video, but there is something that I'm saying a lot. As long as my sky above me, I'm waking up at my safe place in the morning, and I know at the end of the day I'm going to be at my safe place, I have the people around me that support me and love me, and I love them and support them. I'm so thankful about it, and it's more than enough for me. So everything I have more than these little things, I'm so thankful about it and grateful about it.
I know it must be strange hearing this, but I think we're thankful for it as well. We are so grateful that you are here and we can hear you and talk to you. And now you go around the world and tell your story, and I presume you get a lot of comments from all kinds. So first of all, what's the main message you try to deliver when you talk to people? And were there any confrontation that you met some people that argued with you or said some things that maybe pushed the button?
First, a message that is really important to me to say. First, it's giving a hope opinion, a message of being optimistic. Who knows, maybe even tools how to handle the difficult stuff in life. I'm not want to brag about it, but I think that I can give power for people hearing me.
Because everything looks kind of silly when you worry about things, and then you come and you tell your story. This is difficult. I'll show you what's difficult.
No, not coming with it attitude. You know, it's like I want people to get a perspective that I'm talking about it early. That when the sky above you and you have the environment that you need and you are in a safe place and you feel secure, you are more than fine. This is very important to me to say. The second one, and I'm doing it a lot around Israel, and it's important to me for doing it now only in the US. I've been at Europe before in front of Jewish communities. It's the message about unity. I want everyone in Israel specific and all the Jewish community around the world, and not only the Jewish communities, to be united, because it's so important. This is what makes us powerful. This is the way that us as an Israeli culture and Jewish culture and religious gonna make us stronger than ever. And this is the message that's very important to me to say all around the world on every stage that I'm going to be, and I've been before, and the message is Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you.
And if this is the message of Omer Wenkert, who are we to even argue? Omer Wenkert, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
So much. Our next speaker is the co-host of Israel's leading award-winning technology podcast. He lectures at universities and works with large organizations on how AI is reshaping work, decision-making, and everyday life. Everyone, please welcome Dror Globerman.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And before addressing the title From Startup Nation to AI Nation, I met so many wonderful brothers and sisters. And honestly, I wish I had time to talk to every single one of you, to listen, to share. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if we had like a mini social network just for us? Problem is, I don't have a website. So how much time do I have left? 4 minutes? That's more than enough. Because these times are amazing. Everybody's talking about the revolution of AI. Wouldn't you like to see some AI magic working right here, right now? Okay, so let's bring those ideas to life in front of your eyes. Let's use AI to build a website and a private social network in no time, in zero knowledge and zero money, and make it available to each and every one of you right now. I just need to go to a website called Base44, an AI website available for everyone, and I will type in, design a premium portfolio website for Dror Globman inspired by his LinkedIn profile summary, blah, 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 blah. So now let's attach a file with my LinkedIn profile, all my details, all my data about me, and it's going to take just a few minutes, and you can see how the website is being composed in front of your eyes, and it is ready. It's live right now. And it shows all the details about my work and so. Okay. And now let's add a social network into this new website with posts and comments and likes and all that. So I will prompt it again. And as you can see, all my input to the process is all plain English. I can't write code. And I don't need to. So here it is. Me social network with likes and posts. So I wrote something and, oh, Alan responded. That is nice. So if you want to try it right now, live, you can scan this QR code, see if it works. You can scan this QR code, and it will send you into the website. And now watch closely. If you hit the menu mark over there, and then IAC 2026 over there, you'll be directed straight into this live working, I hope so, social network. Is it working? Yeah? Okay, so you can leave a message to me or to anyone else. Just stay in touch. Now, this is super, super basic, but my idea just became alive. And that is the story of artificial intelligence. It has dramatically expanded what ordinary people and professionals can do. Business owners, marketers, lawyers, doctors, scientists, developers can become 5 times, 10 times more effective. Personalized medicine, personalized education, coding at speed of light, marketing has transitioned with AI-generated images, videos, but also with AI-generated insights and workflows and products. This technology still makes mistakes, right? A lot of them, but there is enormous potential and also enormous opportunity and enormous risk. So where do you stand with this shift? So here are 3 things you should know. First, the real hope is not only in governments and corporations, it's in people, and specifically this people, right here. Israelis are among the fastest adopters of AI in the world. We have one of the densest concentration of AI talents anywhere. The website I just used, Base44, was founded just 1 year ago by Maor Shlomo, a reserve soldier. He himself used AI to build it. 6 months later, with 5 employees, this company was sold for $80 million. This person is one of my generation's heroes. And honestly, that shouldn't surprise anyone. In the age of rapid change and chaos and uncertainty, I think the Jewish and Israeli mindset really shines. I mean, we've always dealt with challenges through innovation, be it cyber, Iron Dome, drip irrigation, or the very idea of the establishment of the State of Israel. Pandemic, Iranian missiles, disruptive technology, we'll sort it out. Second, AI can help Israel to address some of its deepest challenges. For example, integrating ultra-Orthodox communities into workforce. Entrepreneurs and managers who studied in yeshiva and not in schools are now using AI to close gaps in business, in math, and English, and become stronger professionals. And 3, the companies leading the global AI revolution, such as NVIDIA and Google and Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, and others, are not just working with Israel. They see Israel as a second home for their most advanced development efforts. Some of the people shaping artificial intelligence at the very top of the world, people like Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Sergey Brin, Larry Ellison, come from this community. So the bridge between Israeli innovation and Jewish American community keeps expanding, and it is more important than ever. And here's the reason why, at least in the eyes of the AI. Because AI is not just about speed and efficiency. AI transforms us as people and as nations. And there are moments in history where the future trajectory of societies and economies is redefined. So we should talk not only about money and tech, but about what values we want to promote. If we get this right together, with curiosity instead of fear, with responsibility instead of hype, and with connection instead of isolation, we can use this moment to strengthen societies, not to fracture them. The connection between, I want to say, the Jewish mind and the artificial mind is only beginning to reveal its full potential. But if we get this right, not just technologically, but also humanely, it can be a powerful force for Israel's future and for a real tikkun olam. I want to thank you for this. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Executive Vice Chair of the Board of Directors and former CEO of software titan Oracle, Safra Katz. Oh yeah. Thank you. Please have a seat. And founder and executive chairman of global cybersecurity leading company CyberArk, Udi Mokadi. Oh yeah, where's Udi? Come on stage. And founding partner of Los Angeles-based venture capital firm Group 11, Dovie Francis. Dovie is joining us. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me. And Safra, I want to start with you. We spoke on this stage, but in DC, in the last IAC summit in Washington, and you said that you believe in Israeli high-tech more than ever during war, even when others find it hard to invest and think it's bad for business, bad for entrepreneurship. You said, and I quote, "When missiles fall, it is time to invest." And looking backwards, you were right. And the question I want to ask is, we've seen Israeli tech companies grow fast and close major acquisition deals. What do you see that others sometimes don't?
Well, I think a lot of people get very scared when everyone's all upset and worried and complaining. But you have to really step back and look at all the incredible capabilities and success that Israel's had for decades. American investors and global investors have recognized the wonderful brains, capabilities, hard work, problem solving that's possible in Israel. And even during these times, in fact, the truth is that when everyone else is fearful, you should be greedy and go right in there, because this is your real opportunity. Ultimately, investing is about going where no one else is going. And if you understand the power of the Israeli mind and the Israeli people beating every other odd, you know they're not going to let you down this time.
I want to further expand this line of thought into AI. The world's biggest tech companies, including Oracle, are investing huge resources in artificial intelligence. How do you see Israel's role in this trend?
Israel is literally central. As you stood up here, you took almost the words right out of all of our mouths. You're right. You're totally right. Everyone is going to Israel, and every other country is looking to Israel. They're all trying to copy what's going on in Israel, whether it's just the region, the Abraham Accords countries, the outer rings, all of them look to Israel. And you said it, Israel has had unicorns and acquisitions in the middle of a war. Imagine now, as Israel has peace, imagine what's going to happen.
Udi, I think she was talking about you. Also about you, right? Udi, CyberArk, the company that you founded and led for many years, has recently was acquired by cybersecurity giant Palo Alto Networks for a modest sum of $25 billion. I think it's the second largest acquisition, right, of cyber company in Israel. So first of all, of course, congratulations. And now, how can we, and this is the question, how can we recreate the cyber success of Israel in the realm of AI?
Well, first of all, great to be here next to this superwoman and superman in this panel. I'll also mention that I'm a member of the New England IAC Council. So shout out. Big believer in community and everything we're doing here. Big believer. So first of all, it wasn't the plan to be acquired. I stood on many stages and I had to eat many hats because I said that CyberArk was built to last, and I was very proud of building a large Israeli public company. But after 11 years, we got an offer from a public company. Safra has done it to other public companies, and you can't refuse at some point. So it's not over yet until the lady sings, because we're waiting for some regulatory approvals. But I'll reconnect it back to AI. One of the business drivers for Palo Alto to acquire CyberArk is their entrance into identity security, and they said that they were waiting for an inflection point to enter identity, and the inflection point is AI, because AI agents need security for their identities. And as there's a new proliferation of identities, humans, machines, and AI agents that we're all talking about. You showed examples right up here, so it's in the heart of the storm. I'm very proud. I think if we look at how to recreate Israel's cyber story to an AI story, we have to dissect a little bit what does it mean. When we started CyberArk, we didn't really have a cyber ecosystem, so I think like Hagari said, that it's everybody's role, and I think it was down to companies also stepping forward. We along with Checkpoint and others, were kind of first to create it. If you analyze the cyber ecosystem, a lot of it is the talent density out of the military, the entrepreneurial spirit, the venture capital firms that literally wait outside the Shin Gimel for graduates from technology units, academy, and then we didn't even lean on government. So any help from government is upside. And so I think when you apply that to AI, there are some differences because it doesn't take just a few computers and a few startup gurus to set up a AI startup. There are more deep. You need GPUs. You need more potential. But I think the other elements can follow. Israel is already recruiting talent for AI. There's already more education happening in high schools. We really need to push for that. I mean, if you ask me, choose one, I would just say education from high school, even if earlier, on math, on technical skills, on AI, to get them into the military with knowledge so that they can go deeper and expand from that. And then we can recreate this similar ecosystem like we did in cyber. I think it's very possible.
Okay. And this brings us to you, Dovi, right? Apart from being a seasoned investor in disruptive technologies, you were appointed last year as a special advisor to artificial intelligence for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Israeli government. And in your view, what should be the balance between the role of the government and the role of the private sector in this field?
I'm getting all the fun questions.
Can I say, just a quick mental break? It's good to see everybody here. It's been a couple of years. Thank you for having us. Thank you, IAC. What an amazing event. What an amazing lineup. Raise your hands if you feel like you're winning. Raise your hands if you feel like we're finally winning. It's good to be back. All right, now to your less exciting question. I was self-appointed as advisor to Prime Minister Netanyahu because I was never hired for the job. And when Globes called me and asked me if I have, I said, yes, of course, I'm advising him. So that was the title. But ultimately, I became close to the Prime Minister because I was on the right side of Israel since January 2023, when many of my peers called to take money out of Israel, when many of my peers called to leave Israel. I fought with Israel, I stood with Israel, and I convinced the Prime Minister that the AI revolution is upon us, and we need to prepare for the AI revolution, otherwise we would be decimated. So now we're prone to winning, we're ready to win. What is the balance between governments and the government role and the private role? It's yin and yang. They're intermingled. Yeah, I mean, they're both separate, different sides of the same coin. So you cannot, without a government policy that allows free markets, that support entrepreneurs, that helps pay and participate in large products like Oracle has in Modi'in, and like NVIDIA has in Israel, we will not be able to have a thriving private sector. So both of them are super important, and thank God the Prime Minister Netanyahu and the government of Israel raised the glove and went and established a national AI directorate at the Prime Minister's office, which is equivalent to the Mossad that also sits at the Prime Minister's office in terms of its influence.
I guess none of the... Yeah, that's a good idea. I guess none of the people present here on stage would dispute the fact that AI should be considered as the new oil or the new energy, right? We agree on that.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask Safra, as of 2025, Oracle employs an astonishing number of over 160,000 people worldwide. And being such a huge employer, how do you think AI will affect the job market?
Well, I know that people are afraid that a lot of jobs will go away. But a lot of new jobs are coming. And they're already starting to show up. In fact, AI helps not only productivity, but capability. It makes for folks who couldn't do other things, it helps now. For example, in medicine, it's true, it's great to have a radiologist look at an image, but boy, when you have an AI analyze the image and then you have the radiologist look at it, you're not talking about only saving money or saving time. You're talking about saving lives. And that is going to be showing up in many, many industries where we literally don't have enough trained people to do these things. And it's also going to lower the costs of this so that many things that are prohibitively expensive now will be something we all expect. And that's how these technologies work through things. AI, see, I think of AI as not a thing on its own. AI will be in everything, and we will assume those capabilities, and that will really change industries and create brand new ones.
So, Udi, you know what? Let's dive in a little bit into this sector of tech, and specifically programmers, which are the basic, right, the core of this technology. Some of them are fearful for the changes that AI brings into the field of writing code. I don't know if everybody is aware, but AI can write code for you and accelerate your production rate at 5 times, 10 times, sometimes if you're capable of using it. But that means that we don't necessarily need the other 9 people working here. How do you feel about that?
I think like Safra said, and I think like you said earlier, we view AI as an amplifier. If you look at CyberArk, everybody embrace AI. There's an initiative across every department. By the way, not just coders. You see the legal department embracing AI. Seriously. They don't have to read every NDA. They can look for the different changes. There's automation. There's stuff we're doing. So I think it's an amplifier. I think people should not be worried about it. They should embrace it. They should play with the tools like you showed here. And in terms of the youngsters, they should think about more systematic thinking. Still push for math. Still study code. Study engineering. Of course, plumbers and electricians are going to do the best.
You know what, Dovi? You're seeing a lot of entrepreneurs and young people. And I guess you hear this question a lot. And I want everyone to refer to that. What should young people who go to university or college study nowadays?
I'll respond to that quickly. Who said they should go to university?
Your Jewish mother said.
I know. Well, universities are confined to real estate, to a syllabus that is not dynamic, to teachers dynamic, to having professors that have not been in the profession that they're teaching for quite some time, have not been practicing it. And AI dwarfs all of that. You want to go to university, go to an AI university. I just launched one, by the way. Coincidentally, we were not preparing it. But I'm the largest shareholder of masterschool.com. Check out masterschool.com. We're an accredited university in the US, offering associate degrees, soon enough bachelor degrees, master's degrees, and PhDs. And good luck to all the young people out there.
Wow. Honestly, I launched one in Israel for Hebrew speakers, but I think most of the claps I heard were coming from the back, for the rows at the back, where the young people are sitting. I wonder how about the parents up here, and I saw your reaction, Safra, to what Dovi said. Don't go to university. What do you say about that?
Well, I think you should always be learning, okay? And me personally, if you were asking me what to study, whether in a university or outside, I'd always say math, because understanding logic and math and problem solving, that's going to be useful not just because you're a mathematician or a professor. It's going to be useful in everything you do. And embracing AI, having a strong understanding of math is going to help you a ton.
And I want to add to that, if I may, in such a quickly moving world with a crazy pace, I think you should go for something that you really love and work in that and study in that. Because
follow your passion.
You put your entire energy and heart into that to keep in pace. Is that right?
Follow your passion, but embrace AI. I mean, instead of following cats on TikTok, maybe follow AI innovation on TikTok.
Last one. One piece of advice for each and every one of you to young Israeli American entrepreneur who wants to lead in AI.
I have a saying I say to my children, always say yes. Anytime someone gives you a chance to do some extra work, stay late, try something new, go on a trip, take a new job, say yes. And that's going to get you where you want to go.
Great. I would jump in. I would say there's an amazing opportunity right now for innovation, entrepreneurial spirit. We have so much of that in Israel. Follow something that you're passionate about. If you want to be an entrepreneur, find good co-founders, ideate, think about it, think fast, and experiment. And like the Arik Einstein Shalom Chanoch song in Israel, everyone wants to be Mankal. Everyone wants to be CEO. We have that drive, and so we can really leverage that in Israel.
I'll conclude, I guess. The only way to get beracha, the only way to be supported by God is to exert influence. And exerting influence globally. They say from Zion will set forth Torah. So if you want to be successful, do things that matter and help our people and speak up for us globally and exert your influence.
Yes. I want to thank you all, Dovi Francis, Udi Mokadi, and Safra Katz. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Safra, Dovi, Udi, and Lo. Our next speaker is an Israeli-American podcaster, TV personality, author, influencer, and a key figure in the Israeli-American community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sigi Flicker.
I get up, the prompter never works for me. Ma kore po, shalom. Hello, everybody. I am so happy to be with you. Here we go. Hello, friends of the IAC. Kol hakavod. I am so happy to be here with you today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Siggy Flicker. I am the daughter of a Holocaust survivor and scholar. I was on TV for many, many years. I had my own dating show on VH1, and I was even a housewives of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, which there's nothing real about that show, but it's where I learned all about false narratives, fake news, and selective editing. Recently, I was appointed to the Holocaust Council in Washington, D.C. by my friend and the greatest president in the history of America, President Donald John Trump. Toda Lael, Toda Elohim. Keep on going. Don, yep. Loud and proud, okay. And most importantly, as you could tell, I'm a loud and proud Zionist. I was born in the holiest city in the world, Jerusalem, during the Six-Day War, and now you know how old I am and what a fabulous plastic surgeon I had. My father, Dr. Mordechai Paldiel, is a Holocaust scholar and survivor who led Yad Vashem's Righteous Among the Nations division for over 24 years. Under his leadership, more than 19,000 non-Jews were honored who risked their lives to save a Jewish life. One of them was a Catholic priest by the name of Father Simon Gallet, who saved my father and his entire family in Nazi-occupied France. Without Father Gallet's courage, I would not be standing here today. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to stop and I want to thank every non-Jew in this room who stands with the Jewish people and the state of Israel. Stand up and say thank you. Toda Rabah. Pastor Hagee's daughter is here, Sandra Parker Hagee. Toda Rabah. Thank you. I grew up deeply aware of history, my family's and our people's. My grandfather fled oppression in Iraq in 1930 and later gave his life to Israel's War of Independence. My father fought in the Six-Day War while my mother went into labor with me in a bomb shelter. And now you know why I'm such a quiet person. My father later served proudly in the United States Army. When our family immigrated to America legally, my parents taught me 3 lessons that shaped everything I am today. They said, Sigalit, know your worth, know your people's worth, and know your nation's worth. Because a nation that forgets its past has no future. Every Friday night, we would gather around the Shabbat table for Kiddush, and my father would repeat story after story about the Holocaust. And I would say, Abba, lama kol hasipurim ha'ele? Why do we have to repeat story after story? And my father said, Siggy, listen, I want you to understand one thing. Anti-Semitism is like cancer. It may stay dormant for many years, but when it shows its ugly face, I want you, my daughter, to be prepared to fight it and look at it in the eye and defeat it. And boy, I do it every day, and I'm so proud of it. I never forgot those words, and I never imagined in my wildest dreams that I would see the level of anti-Semitism we see today. So my friends, how do we fight anti-Semitism? The answer? Unity. This community is inseparable and is a major part and a major contributor to the culture, economics, and society of the United States of America. But we're also profoundly connected to our Israeli roots. In the past 24 months, I've seen Israeli Americans stepping up and acting together like never before. Now, more than ever, we got to embrace basic Jewish pride. We got to be fierce. We got to be unapologetic, and we got to be rooted in our land, our Torah, and our God-given right to survive. Israel, today, after October 7th, is even more of a powerhouse than it's ever been before. Toda Rabba Hashem, kaparani ala'am sheli. Because a powerless Jew is a vulnerable Jew. So now more than ever, listen closely. Jews and Christians must unite to save Western civilization from evil. End of story. Jews and Christians, we are bound by Torah, by Bible, by the two greatest commandments. Love God with all your heart and love thy neighbor. A united community that is proud, that is strong, that is moral, one that knows the difference between truth and all the trash propaganda that they're trying to shove down our throats. One that has the courage to stand with Israel, the only democracy in the Middle East and the only nation that shares our soul. Together, beyachad, united, we're going to win. We have Hashem, and we owe it to our children and grandchildren because they deserve to grow up in freedom and be safe. So now everybody, let's all stand up. Let's all sing together. Let's all unite. There's a song that we're all going to sing. It's called A Tribe of Brothers and Sisters. Shevet Achim Ve'achayot. And let's call up the talented maestro, Idan Reichman. Rachel, I can't say that last name. It's like saying Ziggy. Rachel. Please honor us with your talent and your presence.
עוד השכונה, עוד רחוב, וסרבנים
Idan Reichel. You want to take your seats for the next conversation? And may I just say thank you to Siggy Flicker as well for the powerful words. Our next role model is one that you all know very well. She's a household name, a symbol of courage and of being true to oneself, and a vocal and enthusiastic supporter of Israel. Guess who it is?
Caitlyn Jenner, burst into the national consciousness while capturing Olympic glory. Recently become perhaps the most famous face in the transgender community.
You just cannot believe that one human being can do that to another person. Talk about it. You know, we can't just let all those lives just be gone. This is home for just about every religion in the world. And it's amazing how they're all on top of each other. God bless Israel, the people of Israel. They're amazing, amazing people.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Caitlyn Jenner. In conversation with Regis Poole, founder and CEO of Narrative Group, an influencer marketing and celebrity agency.
Wow, this is exciting.
Hello, Israel! Yeah!
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. These people know how to dance.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They do. We can tell.
One song and they're up and
yeah,
going.
I can tell. So, Caitlyn, it's been 7 months since we landed in Israel.
Yeah.
We're about to go to the Pride Parade in Tel Aviv, which you were invited to, right? And we ended up in the bomb shelter drinking wine for 5 days in the bomb shelter with the Iran attack. Now, since I got back after that, everyone is asking me, how is Caitlyn? How does she do? How did she react to this? So this is the opportunity to give all the answers to everyone who wants to know.
Well, you know, it's kind of a long story on why I have always supported Israel. It goes back a long way. But I did, and Dor, who's out here somewhere, I did an interview with him. He came to the house and did a very nice piece on me. And that kind of started the ball rolling and about my support for Israel. I didn't know it would end up in a safe room someplace in Israel, but that's where I wound up. I got the true Israeli experience. And, let me just take it back some, why I support Israel, and I have my whole life. It started when I was about 10 years old. My father, a World War II veteran, buried at Arlington. He's a war hero. 5th Ranger Battalion. The first boat's on Omaha Beach. He went through that. He went all the way through France and into Germany. And the 5th Ranger Battalion was the first troops to walk into Buchenwald. My dad was 22 years old at the time. And out of all of the pictures of his 4.5 years in Europe that he ever showed me when I was 10 years old, was the pictures from inside Buchenwald when they walked in. I, as a 10-year-old, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And it really greatly affected me. And obviously, because that was the only pictures he showed anybody of World War II, it greatly affected him. So I've always wondered why these things are happening. Why is Israel? What's going on? Cut to 10, 12 years later, my first Olympics, Munich, Germany. We all know what happened there. It happened in the building right next to me. We lost 11 Israeli athletes. I saw one of the terrorists, and I'm talking, here we go again. So I've always supported Israel. When I came back, when you guys invited me to come to do marketing on the Pride event in Israel, the first day we did a tour of Israel in a helicopter. First place we went, the site of October 7th. To go there and see the inhumanity, savages can do that to another unarmed person and just walk up. For me, it was my Holocaust. I could see what my father saw back in Buchenwald many, many, many years ago. And it really greatly affected me to go into the homes where things were happening. And here I go again. So because of all of that, I've just been a great supporter of Israel and a very vocal supporter of Israel. But it is because it has deeply affected me and your struggle and what's going on. When I came in to do the Pride event, when I was back in the States, and people would ask, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, actually, next week I have to go to Israel. Oh, you're going to Israel. And I said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm helping with the marketing for the second largest Pride event in the world. New York's #1, second is Tel Aviv. And every person said the exact same thing. Tel Aviv, are you kidding me? I said, yes, they're very open-minded people. They're great people. I mean, I was in my hotel room for the event, and I looked down, and there's a mosque below me, People don't realize how open Israel is. And so I felt like sometimes they think you guys have to do a better job with marketing. And yes. And so
That's what they do here.
Yeah, so I was glad to be there. Unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to have it because that night is when Israel opened up on Iran. And fortunately, months and months later, we finished it. And now we're just trying to free Iran, to free the people there. And that's extraordinarily important. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
So you've been in Israel for around 6 days until we were able to get you on a plane to back in LA. What do you think about Israeli people? What is the one thing that you can say about the people? The Israeli people?
The thing I like about I have a lot of friends who are Jewish back in the States. Some of my best friends, I've been to all the bar mitzvahs, you name it. I've been to the parties. There's nothing like a good bar mitzvah. I think with the Jewish faith, I see in all of my friends, especially back in the States, all of my friends, how they have such strong family values. They've got a mother, they've got a father, they take care of their children. They raise their children properly. Honestly, I think in the United States, we're losing so much. We're losing those family values. And we have to get back to that. It's extraordinarily important that we have a mother and a father to raise their children, to bring them up the proper way. I know in my life I have a large family, you may know. In fact, I just had my 25th grandchild. I'm going for 30. My girls aren't too excited about that, but I'm going for 30. But strong family values are extremely important.
So you're talking about your kids, right? They called me during the war. And it's not a comfortable phone call, right? What did you tell them when you got back? What did you tell your kids when you got back from Israel? What did you tell them about your experience?
In Israel?
Yeah.
It's honestly, when I went there last time, I wasn't what I expected, obviously, what happened. I was very disappointed that the Pride event could not go off, and we couldn't do it. Maybe next year, who knows? I hope things are looking better. But my first experience was that first night after Bibi had taken control and done some stuff in Iran. Everything canceled. And I was disappointed at first. But I didn't know that all of a sudden that night we're sitting at dinner, okay, and all of a sudden sirens start going off. All these sirens going off. And everybody at the table says, oh, wait, well, we've got to go to the safe room, bunker. And I said, oh. So they said, we were at dinner, and they said, oh, grab your glass of wine, and let's go down to the bunker. And I said, okay. So
it was a Shabbat dinner, right?
Yeah.
Like
so anyway, somebody got a picture of me with a glass of wine at a bunker, and it went viral. And I went, oh, man, that's... Because honestly, it was very serious. People die in these things, and we're certainly not down there celebrating. But it was right in the middle of dinner. And so I felt safe, but you could hear off in the distance, you could hear bombs going off, you could hear all this stuff going on, and you hope everybody is safe, everybody can get to a safe room. That's your number one concern, loss of life. And we went through that, I think 3 nights in a row, 3 or 4 nights in a row we did it. Waking you up in the middle of the night a second time, and you got to go to the safe room. I was fortunate because all the airspace was gone, and I couldn't get out. But I had a travel agent that was at the airport or at the hotel, and she figured out a way that we could get out of Amman, Jordan. So we hopped in a car, went across the Israeli-Amman-Jordan border. Fortunately, I was a little concerned, a little trans girl getting with her passport, getting through the, I was wondering how that was going to go. But no problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. Got through into Jordan, was able to get out. But because of that, because I was being followed very closely by everybody in the States, am I getting out or not? The lady that I was with was extraordinarily helpful. And because of that, I think we got like 20 people, American citizens and stuff, out because of her. She worked out a deal where she could get people out and was very helpful. So not just me getting out, but all the other people that were able to get out under a very difficult situation. Very difficult situation.
We're about to wrap up. One last thing. So since October 7, we see the rising and the increasing in the anti-Semitic position to Israelis and Jews around the world, and here in America. What is your message to Israelis and Jews that live here those days?
Boy, there is, I think the next year, couple of years, is going to be very important for the world. We're all today sitting there for the first time in the United States in a long time. I'm obviously a very big supporter of Donald Trump. I consider him a friend, and just Pam Bondi was here earlier. I had a chance to spend some time with her. For the first time in the United States, we actually have a leader, a strong leader. And our support of Israel and Israel's support of us is very important in the world right now. I am hoping for the best. It's not going to be easy, but I'm hoping for the best. I feel like your country and our country is in a good place to change the world. The world is changing right now. Literally, it is changing. And it's changing quickly, because you would have thought 6 months ago, a year ago, you know, that these things would be happening. You would say, oh, that's never going to happen, you know. But it is happening. And we have to stay strong. We have to stay focused, because the world can be a lot better place if we do. So I am optimistic about the future. I don't think it's going to be easy. There's going to be, you know, highs and lows along the way, but we have to stay on the side of freedom.
It's a good opportunity to thank you so much for everything you've done for Israel and for the friendship. I appreciate it. We appreciate it very much.
Go Israel! Yeah!
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Legev. Thank you, Katie. It won't be a war with Iran without you. I think that's why they postponed the attack.
Well, I can run fast. I'm the first one to get out of trouble.
Okay. Our next and last speaker for this plenary is a long-time role model for the Israeli community in the USA. He has dedicated his career to serving this country and this community. He's a U.S. Army Reserves officer and an Iraq War veteran. For over a decade, he served as the Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney. He has also served as U.S. Special Envoy for monitoring and combating anti-Semitism. And for the past 2 years, he is the CEO of the Israeli-American Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ilan Kar.
Shalom, IAC. How great is this summit? You're having a good time? Is this good content? Not only great plenaries, don't forget the amazing breakouts, and don't forget our incredible Shuk and Expo with incredible companies from Israel with cutting-edge technologies, real estate developers, mind-blowing stuff, so make sure to check out the Expo. Look, I have the great pleasure of closing this Shabbat plenary. But before I do that and send you all off for Kabbalat Shabbat, I would be remiss not to say a few words about us, about why we're all here, about why we have this conference, and about why we have IAC. Look, I've been involved in the Jewish world for a long time. And there are many, many very, very good organizations out there, but this one is different. IAC is different because it is not only an organization of advocacy or of positions, though we do advocate and we do have positions. But IAC is a community-based organization. That makes us different. We are built on people, on kids and teens and students and young professionals and parents and grandparents, a coast-to-coast community that turns out not in the thousands, not even in the tens of thousands, in the scores of thousands and in the hundreds of thousands. We turn out to celebrate together. We turn out to celebrate our heritage and our special occasions, but also we turn out when the Jewish people needs us most. And boy, have we done that since October 7th. We turned out, yes, in memorials and in vigils and in demonstrations and in demands to release hostages and demands that the U.S. support Israel. And we turned out on the campuses, the first, the leaders, to bring thousands onto American campuses during the heights of the encampments and to say enough is enough. From UCLA to MIT, we turned out in the thousands. And by the way, where are the encampments today? And so we are a community-based organization, and our community, engaged and unified, is mobilized for impact. Because it's not only about community for fun, although fun is important. That's why we end these conferences with a concert. It all starts with fun and mishpacha. But it's about getting things done. And so we are rooted in community, but make no mistake, mobilized for impact. Because when we face the challenges we confront today, and not only the challenges we confront today, but the opportunities that we have today, our united coast-to-coast community is determined to make an impact. And that means making sure that we keep anti-Semitism out of our classrooms. That means to make sure that our elected officials better know who we are and better appreciate who we are and better cater to our needs as well. And that means when there are anti-Semites running for public office, we, with our Christian allies, are going to run them out of town. And so in the coming year and 2 years, we will be focused, laser-like, on training and teaching and preparing our community to make that kind of impact through civic engagement and powerful programming that makes tangible results. You want to know how important community is? It's not accidental. It isn't icing on the cake. When it comes to Jewish peoplehood, community is the cake. That's why Idan Reichel just led us in a song whose words come from the ancient words of King David. Shevet achim gam yachad. Achim v'achayot, yes, we can add it. Gam yachad. It's why, by the way, when we begin the book of Shmot, as we did this past Shabbat, a few days ago, we began reading the book of Shmot in Parashat Shmot. And the book of Shmot is what? The book of? Yes, I heard it. Exodus. Yetziat Mitzrayim. Said, you know what? Shmot doesn't mean Exodus. It's the book of Exodus. It's the key formative part of our entire history. But Shmot doesn't mean Exodus. The book of Shmot begins with the line, Ve'ele Shmot b'nei Yisrael habayim Mitzrayma. These are the names of the children of Israel that have come to Egypt. And in so doing, the Torah is telling us, make no mistake. When you read the words B'nai Yisrael throughout the book of Exodus, about our coming to freedom and going through the desert and establishing sovereignty in our promised land, make no mistake, when you read the words even in 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,800 years later, we're not talking about a figurative community. We're not talking about a faith group. We're not talking about people with a joint mission or unique shared interests. We are talking about a family. Ve'ele Shmot b'nei Israel. These are the names, and it lists the names so that we know where we come from. And Siggy Flicker said it so beautifully. A people that doesn't know where it comes from has no future. And so the book of Shmot begins with Shmot, the names, so that each and every one of us knows we are a family. And when we fight together as a family, when we put differences aside, when we stand arm in arm and shoulder to shoulder to face every challenge and seize every opportunity, our enemies do not stand a chance. And that's why the state of Israel, in its darkest times and as it rose to among its greatest times, did so under the slogan, B'yachad ninatzeach, mipnei sheb'yachad ninatzeach. And all of these things we do at IAC, and all of the impact we make would not happen without some very, very important people. And with this, I want to close with some very important thank yous. First of all, to our board of directors led by our co-chairs, Avi and Tal, to our lay leaders across the country, members of our councils from coast to coast, to our donors, I like to call them investors who believe in us and invest in our future. And last, but definitely not least, to what my predecessor in this office told me, and boy was he right, Joam. He said, I am bequeathing to you the finest staff in the industry. And you know what? It is the finest staff in the industry. And so now I want to do something that we've never done before. I want to thank our IAC team and have them come onto the stage. The entire IAC team, come on onto the stage. Come on up here. They are amazing. Thank you so much. Biglalchem, because of you, we do what we do. They work very, very hard around the clock and they make it happen. I love you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for everything you do, not only for IAC, but more importantly, thank you for everything you do for Am Yisrael. Thank you. And now as we all thank them, we're going to leave you with a final, very short video to emphasize our community DNA at IAC. Members of our community from coast to coast contributed to making a video. And this was taped in communities all across the country. And so please join us in singing the words you all know. Roll the video. Thank you, Ian Carr and the team IAC. That's it. The second plenary of the 10th IAC National Assembly is over. I want to thank once again each and every one of the inspiring role models who shared their stories with us today. Tomorrow is the third and last event of the summit, not to be missed. Yochai Sponder will be here.
Chaim Saban will be here, Miriam Ederson will be here, and a special show with Ivri Lider, and many more. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.